Hello, my name is Thor, and I'm doing the Year of Starts. Hello there everybody, how's it going? It's Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on FlossTube, and I am here with kind of a different video for Wednesday. This is going to be my lineup for the Year of Whips. I know you were all waiting with bated breath if I was going to do a Year of Starts. No, I am not doing the Year of Starts. As much as I would like to, I need to win a lottery to be able to do the Year of Starts. So, since that hasn't happened, we're going to go with the Year of Whips. So, what is this Year of Whips? The Year of Whips is a challenge that was created by Melanie, who is the Soulful Stitcher on FlossTube. You might already know these details, but just in case you don't. She also runs the Soulful Stitching Sisters group on Facebook, and that happens to be where this event is taking place. So Melanie set some parameters for this challenge. You need to pick 10 to 15 of your current works in progress that you want to finish between October the 1st, 2016 and December the 31st of 2017. The idea is to get some of the older whips out of whip status, I guess, and get them finished so that you can make room for these new projects that you want to start. The goal is it's to be a challenge. So it's not meant to be a race sort of a thing. It's not meant to be the first to 15 finished objects or whatever. It's meant to be a challenge to yourself. So because it's a challenge to yourself, there is some sort of, in the words of Miss Oh So Crafty, mileage may vary. So, for instance, I have 74 works in progress. Not everybody does, and they don't even have 10 whips to fill this thing, but they can still participate because it's still a challenge to get stuff done. I've been telling you guys for several weeks now that I'm looking at whipping down. I want to whip down not only my cross stitch, but also my knitting. I don't want to have so many projects moving forward. So this couldn't come at a better time. My ultimate goal is to be down to 20 whips by the end of 2018. That's 54 finishes of my current works in progress. And I'm not telling myself no new starts between now and then because that's insane. So to sort of kickstart this 2.5 year plan to knock out so many projects, I have seriously challenged myself with this Year of Whips challenge. So today I'm going to run through my lineup of the projects that I intend on getting done between now and the end of next year. Now, in typical Jessie fashion, I'm not doing 10 to 15 whips. First of all, narrowing down 74 to 15, no. I am far too indecisive for that. I would feel like I'm abandoning 60? I can't even do the math. Abandoning 60 of my projects for the next year. No way. What really got me thinking about doing as many as I am, and I'll tell you that number here in a second, is Heather from Heather Stitches. So she was like, I'm going to do 30. And at first I was like, whoa girl, 30, that's a lot. I have 11 finishes between January 1st and today. 11. And none of those are the 8 that I had set myself to finish at the beginning of the year. So to try to imagine doing 30 finishes between, like, among the span of 15 months between October 1st and December 31st of next year, I was like, no way. So I'm watching Heather's video. She did a video with her lineup as well. And she's talking about a lot of her mania starts. And I start thinking about my mania starts. And I did a lot of smalls for mania. And then I'm thinking about mania and I'm like, you know, I think I started 36 projects in May. I started 36 projects in a 31-day span. Surely I could finish 30 in 15 months, right? Right? I mean, especially with so many of them being small. Small-ish. We'll go with that. And on top of that, because my focus for the next 15 months will be on these whips, like, I can't imagine that it would be out of the realm of possibility to get most of my Mania starts done in 15 months. Because I'm not going to be starting things like I did this year. Like, it's just not where my priorities are right now. If I win the lottery, that might change. So, like, wish me luck that I win the Powerball tonight. This video might not get uploaded if I do. So, now you're wondering, Jess, how many whips are you putting in for this challenge? The answer to that is 34. Now, there's a couple of things. So here's how I went about developing my list. I took my final 8 from this year. These 8 projects that I had said that, like, I want to get them done this year. I want to get them done this year. Turns out probably 1, maybe 2 of them are going to get done by the end of this year. So I took those 8. Then I cross-referenced with the Stitch Mania. They're having a SAL series in 2017, the Tour des Designers. So I cross-referenced my final 8 with that list. And a lot of them filled in there, but there were some of them that, take for instance the Joan Elliott in January. One of my final 8 was not a Joan Elliott, so I pulled one of my Joan Elliott pieces to fill the Tour des Designers. So I'm like, okay, well, if I focus on that for that month, there's one. Some of the months, for instance, I know that April is Coffee Stitcher Designs, the Tour des Designer. I don't have a Coffee Stitcher design whip. It's not to say that I won't, but I don't currently. So I picked either one of my final 8 that didn't have another place, or another of my larger projects that I want to get done, and stuck it into April. So I'm going to be doing that in lieu of the Tour des Designers SAL that month. So after all of this cross-referencing and looking at all of these lists, I had 16. I've already beat out the minimum of 10 to 15. And I don't even have, like, half of what I wanted in there. So I'm like, well, so I start looking at the other stitch-alongs for 2017. One of them is the seasonals. So there are technically 5 seasonal SALs: winter, spring, summer, fall, and then winter again, because we get back into winter at the end of the year. What I'm doing for that SAL is my monthlies by the Cricut Collection. 4 of those are so close to done it's not even funny. April, May, June, and July. July, maybe 2 days work, and it's done. So there, I'm up to 20. Then I start looking at my Mania starts, because next year, for Mania, I'm doing the Blimey Cat method. Blimey Cat method is, say, for instance, the project that I started on the 1st of this year. If I finished it, then I get a new start. If I didn't finish it, then I work on that whip that day. I want as many new starts as I can, because I still like the new starts. So I started pulling whips from Mania that I could get done real easy. That brought me up to 25. Then I was looking at the parameters for the challenge, and Melanie emphasizes the fact that they should be older whips. I have some whips that are here from 2014, so I pulled from that, from my old list of projects that I think I can get done, among everything else, within the next 15 months. 34 is an odd number to choose. 30, okay. 35, okay. But 34, what is that? I have 4 projects here that are guaranteed finishes. Like, wouldn't take much at all, and I'm going to have those done. So in order to maintain the air of this being a challenge, I put in 4 more just in case. So I'm going to get those guaranteed finishes done. They almost have like a date where they'll be done. So in order to make this more complicated, I guess. That was really my thinking. So yeah. So that's how I got to 34. I still have some smalls left out. My whips are lined up right here next to me. I still have some smalls left that aren't in this list. So I might have more finishes. But this is what I'm doing for the year of whips. So I'm going to go through them all. It's going to be like a little whip parade. So, one last note before I start showing all of these projects. I'm going to tell you basic details, fabric information if I know it. There will be previews of what it will look like finished. But I'm keeping it as simple as possible, trying to do this quickly. These are in order of when I started them, so we're talking oldest to newest. But I don't have all of the dates that I started them necessarily memorized. So I'll let you know when we switch years, but for the most part, it's just in order of when I started them. You ready? Okay. My oldest whip is not in this pile because it's huge, and the only way I'm going to get that thing done is if it's the only thing I work on in the next 15 months. So yeah, that's not involved. That's another 10-year project. But my second oldest whip is definitely in this list. And this is Frosty Knot Garden. This is by Chatelaine. This is on 32 count antique white Belfast linen, using all of the silks and threads as called for that. Okay. Whip number 2 is Rose Fairy by Joan Elliott, also from 2014. Bring it a little bit closer. This I'm stitching on 28 count confetti Lugana. This is by Picture This Plus. And this is where I'm at currently. Okay. Up next, we have Under the Moonlight. This is by Passione Ricamo. It is being done on 32 count Belfast in Lady of the Lake by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And it is on a fat half of fabric, so bear with me for just a half a second here so I can show you a good view of it. Basically what I have to do here is finish her skin and the beading. Okay. Up next, we have Persephone by Mirabilia. We're into 2015 now. And this is what she will look like finished. This is a little bit of a spoiler alert for my update video, which won't be until tomorrow, by the way. But this is the progress that I've gotten done. And I stopped working on this early because I wanted this record to be an absolute record of where my projects stand before October 1st. So none of these will be worked on before October 1st. This is on 32 count Belfast in Tempest by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Okay. I have to leave all of these out because I think I'm going to take pictures of them as well. Okay, up next we have Opus 2 by Long Dog Samplers, aka Maggie. This is being stitched on 28 count antique white cashel linen by YOWCh. Okay. Up next, we have Pumpkin Patch Farm Sampler by the Victoria Sampler. This is being stitched on 32 count Something Moon by YOWCh. And I am using all of the called for threads that I got in the accessory pack, with the exception of Gloriana Harvest Gold. Up next is Be Thankful. This is a kit by Imaginating, designed by Diane Arthurs. I am stitching this on the provided 14 count Fiddler's Ada, my last Ada project. It'll be kind of sad when this is done because I won't have any more Ada. I don't think. No. Okay, up next is Heron. This is by Leslie Tier. I'm stitching this on a 28 count white even weave. This is from MCJ Textiles, I do believe. Inconvenient hanging thread. There we go. Okay. Up next we have the Jingles series by Lizzie Kate. This is all of them together. This I am stitching on the called for 32 count amber linen from YOWCh using the called for weeks dye works. This piece I am using for the Stitch Mania Christmas all year round sale that's running all year next year. Okay. Up next we have from the J. Netley Mayhew Cross Stitch Safari. I'm working on the elephants. That's what it will look like finished. This I am stitching on 32 count aqua linen. This is by Fabric Flare. Here's where I am currently. Up next is Teresa Wensler's Stretch. This is a freebie design by Teresa Wensler. I'm stitching it on 32 count cream Belfast linen by YOWCh. Crazy threads hanging off. Okay, up next we have 9 Ladies Dancing. This is by Nora Corbett. And I am stitching this on the called for 28 count China Pearl linen by YOWCh. I told you guys when I last worked on this that this is going to be a quick finish, and it really is. Okay, up next from Paula Vaughn's Quilts for All Seasons book, I am working on the November quilt. That beautiful autumnal looking one there, which I am stitching on 32 count cream Belfast linen from YOWCh. Is that right side? No, that is right side. Okay. Up next, the last one from 2015, we have the Ho 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 series from Stony Creek. This was a 3-part freebie series. The charts were freebies. Put out by Stony Creek last year. I am stitching them all together on a 32 count antique white opalescent Belfast from YOWCh. Oh, that's from the fabric. So we have the Santa one done, the reindeer in progress. The snowman will go on the bottom there. Okay. Now we're into 2016. This is one of the guaranteed finishes, and I haven't made note of that. This is the first of the guaranteed finishes. So this is the Clouds Factory Postcards from the World Stitch Along, annual Stitch Along from 2016 here. 3 more blocks. This is being done on a 28 count Monet Casha linen from Picture This Plus. Okay, up next we have Shades of Wine from Northern Expressions Needlework. This is on a 40 count Alabaster Newcastle linen. I'm stitching it using the called for Dinky Dyes silks. One strand over 2. Okay. Next, we have April by the Cricket Collection. This I am stitching on. This is a YOWCh linen in Dove Gray. I'm not sure if it's 28 or 32 count. I think it's a 32 count, but don't quote me. Okay, now we're into the Mania stuff. So, up first we have May by the Cricket Collection. This is being stitched on a 32 count antique white, or excuse me, a 28 count antique white Casha linen. Okay. Up next we have Appalachia Santas. This is by Mill Hill. Stitching this on the provided perforated paper. Sorry for the crinkle. That's what it looked like when I started it in May. Haven't worked on it since. Next we have the Liz Almond Christmas Star. This is also being stitched on 28 count antique white Casha linen. This is also a guaranteed finish. This is the first of 8. However, I am counting 4 as a finish. Because 4 of them will go on this piece of fabric. And then I need to get a blue linen to do the other set. So that's part 1. Part 1 of 4. Next, we have one that I'm really excited about getting back to. This is Sugar Skull Darth Vader being stitched on a 32 count Stormy Skies, something to that effect. It's a 32 count linen. It's a printed fabric by YOWCh. Okay. Up next we have Cross Stitch Lover. The designer is Ursula Michael. It is from a Cross Stitch magazine, which information will be down below. I'm stitching this on a 32 count cream Belfast linen. I have replaced all of the threads with either YOWCh Styleworks or Petite Treasure braid as appropriate. And this is all that I got done on my Mania start. Okay. Next, we have the Eastern Bluebird. This is by Stony Creek. It's from their Birds of the Month collection. And I'm stitching this on 32 count fog. This is by Picture This. Oh no, this is 28 count fog, excuse me. By Picture This Plus. That will also be a really quick finish. Very little. Okay. Next is Graceful Reindeer. So excited. This is on a 32 count rosewood by Picture This Plus Belfast Linen. Design is Marie Barber. And this is from just cross stitch November, December 2016, or 2015, excuse me. 2016, that's hilarious. Okay. Next, from the Stony Creek Flowers of the Month series, this is the May Violet. This is being done on a 32 count platinum linen by YOWCh. And I'm not even sure which way is up on this one. I haven't worked on this since Mania, but it's relatively small. It'll be a quick finish. Up next is Big Bang Theory. This is by Wee Little Stitches. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Dill Belfast Linen, dyed by Picture This Plus. Wee Little Mania start on Penny there. And that color is showing up pretty accurate. I have some false lighting here in front of me to try to help with the lighting situation because it is gray this week. And I wanted to get this recorded before the weekend, so. Okay, up next we have Elizabeth by Glendon Place. I'm stitching this on 32 count Buttercup. This is by Under the Sea Fabrics. This is another guaranteed finish. This is, oh no, not this one, excuse me. This is June by the Cricket Collection. This is not a guaranteed finish. And this is on a 32 count cream Belfast Linen from YOWCh. Okay, this is a guaranteed finish. I think this is the one that's kind of towing the line between being a guaranteed finish and not. This is the Fantasy Sal, put together by Lakeside Needlecraft, designed by Dorian Jones. Stitching it on 32 count Heroic Belfast Linen from Picture This Plus. There is a lot of detail in the border that I haven't done yet, so I think that this could be a guaranteed finish because the Sal will effectively end July of next year. Our last black will come out July of next year, so then I'd have 5 months to work on the border. So I'm comfortable calling this a guaranteed finish. Okay, up next is another guaranteed finish, the Cricket Collection, July. I'm calling this a guaranteed finish because it is so close. It's just, it could be done like this weekend if I put the time into it. I'm not, because like I said, I'm not working on any of these between now and October the 1st. But you guys can see, I mean, I have the Y started. I have to do the sparklers in between the letters, some back stitching. I have to finish up the Y. It would be such a quick finish. So There's July. Okay. I just got an email from 123 Stitch. If you guys follow me, if you're on Stitch Mania. Developments. Okay, up next we have Electra. This is by Nora Corbett. And I am stitching this on 32 count milk chocolate linen by YOWCh. This piece of fabric is ginormous because I'm going to try to get 2 of the witches on here. And this is the progress that I made during, I started this for the Cross Stitch and Discuss Crazy 7. So there's that. Put that cardboard over there. Also started for the Crazy 7. This is Scotland Santa of the Celtic Santas collection by Mill Hill. Crinkling again. Progress thus far on the provided 14 count perforated paper. Okay, and this is Flowering Flourish by Connie G's Designs. I am substituting for beads instead of stitches with thread, and I am stitching it on 32 count Darkness Falls by Under the Sea Fabrics. This is part 1 of a 2-part series, however I'm only counting this one for the Year of Whips, because that's what I'm doing. There's my progress thus far. Part 2 will go on the dark side. Okay. Last but not least, I will be starting The Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. This is a project that I plan on starting, if not this week, then very soon after the 1st of October, and I want to have this done by next year. I want to have it for my stitchy spot, so that is going to be a finish. And that was number 34. Woohoo! So those are my 34 projects that I plan on having done by December of next year. So how are we going to track progress for this? I've got this video that I'm doing here today. I also will have an album of photos in the Soulful Stitching Sisters group. And I've got some other tracking outside of social media and whatnot that I will be using. I'm going to do some sort of graded goals, so I want to have this many done by this date, etc., etc. What else? What else is there to say? I think that's it. It's really exciting, you guys. I'm going to have so many projects in my finished objects bin that goes under my bed and never sees the light of day again. Some of these will find places, but vast majority, no clue what I'm going to do with them when I'm done. I just know that they will be out of these boxes here, and I'll have to find out something else to do with these boxes. That's exciting. So anyway, thank you all so very much for watching, and like I said, I will link the group as well as the event in the description box. I don't even know if I said that, but I will. So you're more than welcome to check it out. And I will see you tomorrow with my regularly scheduled, should have been today, kind of whip update. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.